GM, everyone. Hi, Linas. Good to have
Hello,
you.
Lena.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very lovely. Very excited for this stream today. Also excited that we have an announcement and also a shared mission that we announce at the end. Um, but yeah, for everyone who is joining here for the first time, I'm Lena, Data Engineer at Cello, which is an L2 scaling Ethereum, focused on real world solution. And this is our founder stage where we showcase founders who are building for MiniPay, which is a stablecoin wallet built on Cello with over 14 million activations globally, near zero fee transactions. And yeah, they are making stablecoins useful throughout the world. And before we get started with a lot of questions, Linas, about your product and what it means to build for MiniPay and on Cello, do you want to introduce yourself a bit, share a bit more about who you are, what you did before, how you became a founder for MiniPay?
Yeah, okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Linas. I'm from Lithuania, but nowadays mostly living in the south of Brazil. And I became a founder about a year ago. Started building mini apps. Right now, I have more than 10 of them live and earning some revenue, and many more in the graveyard. So, yeah, I've been productive the last year, basically thanks to AI, but mostly. Yeah, and I have two of the mini apps live on MiniPay now.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think you shared your his story with me before, and I think I just find it really amazing how you decided to become a founder and then in such a short time you just iterated, realized AI as a tool you can use to kind of like build kind of a side income. And even though you never built apps before, you kind of started doing that. And now you have two apps live and in total 10, which I think is incredible. And we'll talk a bit more about that. Um, but before we go into that, do you want to share more about the apps that are live on MiniPay, Squadletics, and Melorize? Do you have a demo, or do you want to just share a
I
bit
can just
more?
explain what they are. Like the main app is Squadletics. That's my main baby. It's a fitness challenge app where people stake money to join challenges and then have to do the exercise in front of the camera every day for 21 days, while AI is counting their reps. So basically, if they skip a day or don't do enough reps in a day, they lose their stake. But if they complete the challenge, they can earn a share what others lost. So basically, it's a new way to earn money by exercising at home, or at least get like extra motivation for exercising, for being consistent in workouts. So that's what Squadletics is, and Melorize is a very simple app for creating music with AI. You just write a prompt and get back a song, two versions of the song.
I love both apps. I already said as soon as Melorize is available for me, I will be annoying to everybody who knows me. By sending songs. I already sing songs about everything, so that will be a great addition to what I already do. And yeah, I just told you, I tried Squadletics and tried to motivate myself, and I ended up not being able to get off the sofa. But all of that is changing today, because obviously, if you stake 10 cents, that's not a commitment, but I don't want to lose $10. So today live here, you heard it first. I will start doing my workouts, and it's actually a lot of exercises that I need to do anyways. So it's very good. I will
I
do it.
think I think that's an extra commitment. That's like some social commitment. So I need to add like social commitment just besides financial incentives.
Yeah, if you don't see me on the leaderboard, you can personally come for me. Like
Okay.
everybody who's watching today. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to like the game mechanics of Squadletics at this point. It's you ask your users to commit for 21 days, which I think makes a lot of sense when you like know more about habits and how long it takes to like build that, right? But it's also a commitment. Like, how do users react to that? What's the game theory behind that?
Yeah, so just like you said, 21 days is not random. 21 days is how many days you need to build a new habit. So that's why all challenges are basically 21 days. The challenges are, squats, push-ups, jumping jacks, high knees, simple exercises that anybody can do at home without any, equipment. And the game theory behind that is that, well, if you have skin in the game, you will be more interested in actually pursuing the goal. And another thing is, because you can stake as little as 10 cents in one challenge, and you can up to $20 at the moment. So basically, I can see the dropout rates, like the people who put $20, it really rarely they drop out and lose. But the people that stake 10 cents or 50 cents, I would say 80 to 90% of them lose. And it's also a good thing because, then it's always sure that there will be some earnings for those who finish. So it's kind of a sustainable business model. And even when people fail, normally the churn in other apps maybe is a bad thing. Somebody like fails and then never come back. But here, when people fail with 10 cents, they still know, like, oh, the only one who I can blame is myself. And next time maybe I'll come back and like put more money. So I see a lot, like I see some people that fail but really come back and put more money next time.
Yeah, that's going to be me because I already put the little money. It didn't work. Later, I will share a screenshot of putting $20, and then I have to. So you,
Exactly.
you already have another client. And for Melorize, it's a bit simpler, right? Like people can just pay as you go, and I think it's such a simple model, but still, instead of subscriptions or instead of like this daily check-ins, what was your choice for building that app, or like how did you have that in mind? What the value add is here for the user?
So I was thinking about platforms like MiniPay. What are the advantages of them? The number one advantage used to be probably thinking about distributions, like free distribution. There's not so many apps in the app store and many users, and they it's just like free attention. Basically, you get like this initial push. Once the app store of MiniPay gets saturated with hundreds and thousands of apps, that's a different story. But right now, there's little apps and millions of users, so that's number one advantage. But I was thinking like about business models and what should be built on a platform like MiniPay. And for example, Melorize, for creating music with AI, there are many apps. But basically, there are like the main apps who have their own AI models, like Suno, Udio, Google Gemini just released music creation in their app. But and there's way more also like simple wrappers that use these back in the back and use these models, but they just like do API calls and wrap it in a different front end. But all of them use subscription. So basically, to use them, you have to pay $10-20 or more, lock in for a month or more. But what if you just want to create one song just to test it out? What is this AI music creation? Or you want to create a song as to give as a gift to your mother for like Mother's Day, which I think is a great use case. But you don't want to pay like $10 or $20 just for this one song. Maybe you will if after you try it in the beginning. Uh, the problem with like traditional app stores or like web apps, you cannot really do micropayments because Stripe or other payment provider would just get, I don't know. Is that mine?
No, that's not me. I'm so sorry.
No problem. So basically, yeah, like for each payment, you cannot charge anyone like 10 or 20 cents or 50 cents because Stripe will minimum take, I think, 40 cents plus 4% from each transaction. So basically, like if you charge someone like 40 cents, you get zero.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, for but on MiniPay you can charge as little as 10 cents, or whatever your business model is, because the payments are basically free. The gas is very, very like cheap, basically like almost zero. And so there's no extra app store tax. Apple App Store takes 15 to 30%, whatever. So that's what kind of enables the micropayments and a new business model. So that's why I kind of did this simple app, Melorize, which is just an AI wrapper with like one API call and one payment. But it works. People like it.
No, I love it, and I think this is super important also for founders or builders. I think people always overthink what they should build and what they should offer, and sometimes the simplest offer is the best. Just like come in, do one thing, go out, and if you like it, you come back. And I think that's always what I tell also our builders and founders. Start simple. Start with exactly what you're doing. And then you can still add challenges or something else or new features, but people don't even need it. Like most of the time it's easy as that. And I really like that about your products. And a little bit about like you said you just built this wrapper, but you haven't like you were technical at one point, or you learned writing code at one point, but that's a very long time ago, or like you dabbled in it at one point in your life, and now you build all of your apps with AI. So how does your workflow look like when you create those apps? How fast do you go from idea to launching on MiniPay?
Hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it counts to me being technical, because I just learned PHP programming on my own when I was 12, and by 13 I stopped doing that at all. So now, 25 years later, I don't even know if that even helps me. Maybe help in knowing what that was, like a variable and array and whatever, but basics. So, and also, anyway, I'm not programming. I'm basically vibe coding. Like that's the way. So my workflow, I think the workflow is very similar to like anybody who is doing agentic coding right now. I'm not even like that deep in like the setup, setting like very complicated like sub agents or agent swarms or skills. No, I just don't overthink it. I just do it. My setup is super simple. I just use like Codex and Windsurf basically for, the basic plans, pay like $20 a month for each. So that's like more than enough for me for 10 apps that I have.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe my workflow is just a little bit different from some other vibe coders, or just programmers nowadays. Is that, for example, Squadletics, there are some things that agent cannot test. So like especially the algorithms of computer vision, like pose recognition. So what is a squat? What is a push up? When once I do some like hardening of the algorithm, or I want to make it a little bit more strict, I just have to turn on the camera and go and do the squats myself, because otherwise there's no way to test it. It's like one thing that the model thinks in theory, but so maybe that's the only difference in my workflow from other vibe coders. And I think in the workflow,
You're training more than normal vibe coders. You're you're working out more than normal vibe coders.
yeah, like building apps and abs.
Yeah.
So,
Great
but
title for this episode.
so also like one thing that I kind of started doing now more is, well, I go to gym almost every day, and now I stopped listening to the music in the gym. Instead, I just literally talk to ChatGPT all the time in voice mode. When every day I have like an idea of a new feature, new app, maybe new distribution model or something, and I just talk it through, like either validate it, ask to research, whatever, just go back and forth discussing. And by the end of the gym session, I have kind of a full on implementation plan, or I dismiss the idea. So that's like what literally I'm doing every day, just talking to ChatGPT while I'm walking.
I love that. That's such a good use of your time. I don't like going to work out because I feel like I'm wasting my time. But That's kind of a good use of your time. So I agree with that. Um, but yeah, let's. I think I could learn a lot more about, and a lot of people could learn more. So make sure to also follow Linas, I think. And if you have any questions, I'm sure he will be happy to share more about that. Um, and there's also a question in the chat about how to publish your app on MiniPay. I am happy to share more about that at the end of the live stream. And oh, somebody is using your app already and earning on it daily. So that's cool.
Nice.
Oh, on MiniPay, on Squadletics, yeah. Nice. Yeah, if you work out on Squadletics, let us know. We will see you. Um, and but yeah, you just launched recently in MiniPay, right? Like from learning about MiniPay, how did you learn about MiniPay? When was that? And how did you get interested in building for MiniPay?
I learned in November, end of November, in DevConnect, the conference in Buenos Aires. So basically, very randomly, because most of the L2, layer 2 booths were next to each other. And I was there because Squadletics was already on World app, World Chain, was live. And just right next to the same booth was Cello. I went to Cello and MiniPay. I went to talk, and I was very actually I didn't even know about MiniPay, but then I was talking to the DevRel Sophia at the time, and I was
Sophia.
surprised by actually it's so many users, such a similar audience, I would say, that I already have in Squadletics. And another thing is, I know that MiniPay is very big in some countries in Africa. So I thought, from my audience previously in World App, I had one insight that actually a lot of like World App is not big in Africa, but uh, there were a lot of people from Kenya, actually unproportionately more than other countries, using Squadletics there. So I was like, maybe it's a thing. Maybe it could be like popular in Africa. So that's why I realized I should build on MiniPay for sure. There's also a grant, like initial $5,000 to if you just launch any app, I guess. Yeah, very nice, very simple, no bureaucracy, nothing. So great experience. Um, then I realized, okay, like maybe I can launch some other app first that's more simple. Like the most simple app that I have is Melorize. It's just like one payment and one API call, basically. So I just decided to build first that one and launch it. Once it's live, then I start with Squadletics, which takes definitely more time to adapt. Yeah.
How you were always a mini app in different wallets, or did you also have a standalone app at one point? Or like, how do you feel moving to MiniPay improved the user experience, or was there any kind of friction that disappeared through deploying in MiniPay for your users?
Hmm. No, I started as like mini apps. Squadletics is also a standalone web app. It's not yet a standalone like Android or iPhone app, but that's the main friction actually. I think the main friction in all for any apps that use crypto as backend or as like payments is on ramp. Like it's not so easy to get people to get money in, because first of all, and especially for a new concept like Squadletics, first of all I need to explain to users what is that. It's a new concept. You put money in, it's a challenge, whatever. It's a thing to explain. And then the next step is like, okay, now I have to explain to you how to get money in. Like if you just saw some video on TikTok or Instagram about my app and just want to like start using it, well, you will go, you will find it. Okay, now you know what it is. But then, okay, I need to put some money, and now there's like some KYC requirements, whatever. It's a really big hurdle. Uh, so that's why MiniPay, for example, is a wallet that's already, people already have money there. So it's a big, relief to not needing to explain to users how to get the money in.
Yeah. No, and I think, I mean, MiniPay has an amazing on and off ramp infra in so many countries worldwide, that it just makes it so much easier to onboard user on a global scale, and
Yeah, now
especially.
I'm using MiniPay in Brazil for payments. Like it's kind of the actually out of all the options I was trying, it's the best option for QR code payments.
I love it, and we love to hear that. Um, how was working with the MiniPay team? I mean, you launched so quickly. Like you met them in Buenos Aires, and then you went on a call with them. There was a little bit of feedback. How was it until you launched Melorize and then Squadletics? Can you share a bit more insight on the whole process from a builder founder perspective?
Yeah, the team was very supportive. Uh, it was very quick to adapt. I would say it took me probably for Melorize just a couple of hours just to rewrite the code base. I mean, it was not me; it was the AI agent doing that. But anyway, testing and everything, it just took me a couple of hours, and it was about. I was ready to publish it. It took probably a week more or some more days for it to get approved. Uh, and yeah, and after that, there's I can see there's support from. Uh, I mean, there's real support, not just like words, but actual support from the MiniPay team. Like they're already featuring the app, sending some push notifications to users, which is a great boost. For Squadletics, I'm about to launch a new feature, and probably we agreed that they're going to sponsor some of these prizes for users and send push notifications featuring. So all of this, like I think, is a great developer experience on MiniPay.
Love it. Nice. That's amazing to hear. How you, when you launched in MiniPay, what are numbers that you're proud of, or that you feel like are exciting to share for users around Melorize and Squadletics?
So and when I just launched and the apps went public, even without any featuring or anything, it's just like the app is now in the App Store.
Yeah.
Uh, the first days, actually, you get a lot of new users. So I would say Melorize actually every day. It's not like a huge revenue stream or whatever, but probably every day there's around 50 apps that being created on average. But then those first days, so 150 or 200, just like from people just randomly seeing the app in the App Store and discovering, because there's many people just like curious, I guess. And the same with Squadletics. The first few days were a lot of new users. Um, and then Melorize has, for example, had some like push notifications being sent from MiniPay team, which also like increases like I don't know 5 or 6 times the number of people like trying your app.
Yeah. I think as you mentioned, it's amazing. You just like in the App Store there's a new little flag, and you just get this huge amount of users that are just testing. And then as you mentioned, you also now working with the with some feedback that the MiniPay team provider, like that you're working with them on a new feature for Squadletics, also to make it maybe a bit more sticky. I think it's always a journey that you have to develop an understanding what do your users want, how does that look like, and when does it launch? Or you just mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the new feature is basically a new mode of because right now there's challenges and they take 21 day. And the problem with that is that it's a very big ask for a random person who just accidentally opened your app. It's a big ask because, well, after they get to understand the concept, then now they have to put some money in. Then actually do something in real world, not just like click buttons or swipe and scroll and whatever, but actually like you have to open the camera, put the phone, lean it on the wall, put it on the ground, lean it to the wall, go and actually do things, physical things, and then continue that for 21 days. That's a huge ask in a, I guess, in today's world of, where people are used to instant gratification. There needs to be something that's maybe is more simple for the first time users. So something that they can get like a taste of what this could be, what are these challenges, but not exactly like that big. So I was thinking, like, actually, the whole suggestion came from the MiniPay team, and I discussed with them. Then I discussed with ChatGPT and the gym, as I do, and I came up with this whole concept like that. Now I'm gonna test. The concept is daily competitions. Basically, they just take 24 hours until you see the result, and it's a little bit different. Like now, it's going to be how many exercise reps of like how many squats or push-ups you can do without stopping. So basically, you start doing them, and like once you cannot do anymore, once you pause for more than 7 seconds, it just like counts your final result, and then you go to the daily leaderboard or like monthly, and
Yeah.
you to enter, you just pay like some very small amount, like 5 cents in the beginning, maybe like that. We're gonna have like some sponsored prizes too, but yeah, so very small hurdle to join, but like you can win at the end of the day if you're in the top 50% or maybe top 10, you get like even more. So there's like incentives that basically you can see the result in 24 hours or less. um, and then I believe it's not just for uh, getting a taste of like what the challenges are and what is this thing with like AI, you know counting your reps and verifying, but also I'm hoping that maybe it's a new way to get more shares on social media, just like Strava. When somebody's running, I just ran 10 miles, I will post on Instagram my Strava thing, and it's like a great user generated content for Strava. For Squadletics, for example, I don't think. Well, we have a sharing mechanism, like, oh, hey, I joined the challenge. Hey, I finished the challenge and earned like $5 extra. But I don't think that's a thing that is very people are eager to share. It's just not that interesting. While I think a fact that hey, I just did 100 push-ups without stopping. That's something you can be maybe proud of and share. Uh, so yeah, that's one more hypothesis that maybe there's gonna be more shares too. So this is launching today at midnight UTC. Let's see how it
Okay.
goes.
That is very exciting. I will after under this live stream, I will post tomorrow how many. What is easy? I'm not gonna do push-ups, and then and I did 2 push-ups. That's what I'm gonna share tomorrow. Impressive, right? I know.
Not bad for a start.
Um. Okay. Yeah. Very excited. Yeah. So everybody, make sure to check out MiniPay, check out Squadletics, and make sure to challenge me tomorrow with 3 push-ups. Um, that's that easy. And I just wanted to also quickly come before we leave, just comment on, like, reply to some comments. We had one question on how to get your app onto MiniPay. The best way is to submit it through this form. Linas, what would be your advice if people build their first mini app? I mean, you brought Melorize on mini app. It was a very simple app. What would be your advice for somebody who is building for MiniPay and planning to bring their first app?
Mm. Yeah, so my advices would be maybe think about MiniPay of like which of the main advantages of MiniPay you could use. And you should not just launch any app, like B2B SaaS app is probably not the thing to launch on MiniPay. But you should think about maybe one of those that I mentioned. Like first of all, now free distribution is so basically any app that you just launch right now is going to be one of the, I don't know, 30, even less apps that are there in the App Store. So naturally, people will just open it and check it out. So that's one thing, but obviously that's not going to last for very long. At some point there's going to be many more apps, and just free distribution is going to be less and less compelling. But I would say maybe two other things two other advantages of MiniPay to look at is micropayments. So uh, you just can check any other like AI app that's successful right now and has a subscription model, and copy that or do something else, similar, but with micropayment options, so pay per use. So that's a thing of, very like for apps like Melorize, which is music creation, but there's plenty of AI video, AI photo wrappers, and millions of use cases. I think that could be very successful, or at least not very successful, but at least you can. If it's your first app, you will definitely earn your first dollar. That's for sure, if you just do that. And that's already a huge, achievement, because most people, well, it will take years for someone, trying and trying to earn the first dollar. It's not that easy. And then another advantage I would say for MiniPay is think about the audience. So maybe the audience of MiniPay does not have like the very high purchasing power. So if you think about selling something very expensive, you probably, you're not going to be very successful there. But you can see it from another perspective. Like there's a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, I can see already that people are eager to earn extra income. So if you have any kind of like a business model where you supply like micro tasks and give like rewards to the users, or some kind of airdrops, or any kind of financial incentives, I think that's a great place to start. Like there's going to be like thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who are going to use your app. So yeah, if you're building, don't just like build anything, but think about one of these advantages that you can use that would make sense to build on MiniPay.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think that was a great closing advice for everybody who is considering building for MiniPay. And yeah, when are you bringing out a skill to move your app from Word to MiniPay in one prompt? That's my last question. What are we doing? I mean, I think it's like, as you say, you can just get so much distribution through a lot of different mini apps, and I have been coding today, and skills are just the best thing. So are you going to become a skill builder as well, next to being a mini app founder?
I don't use many skills, to be honest. I don't think like I mean I think many skills are a little bit overrated. Like they get too much into the context. Like then not much gets left for your prompt. But yeah, maybe if the skill is good, then it's great. But honestly, like AI agents are getting so good, you don't need soon. You won't need any skills. I just point them to documentation. I used to need to copy documentation. Now you just like give it a link, or sometimes not even give a link. You just find it itself. I mean, I think building is solved. If there's some founder like thinking of, oh, I should, start building one day, that's a really wrong approach. Like if you have an idea, you just have to build it right now. There's no hurdle of doing that. The real hurdle right now is distribution. Like everybody moved on from just the problem of building. Anybody can build anything, almost anything, and instantly. Now you should be thinking about distribution, maybe even before building.
And distribution you can get on MiniPay. Um, very, very lovely closing words. Thank you so much for joining, Linas. Very excited for the new feature you're launching tonight at midnight UTC. And I will see all of you who have been watching tomorrow in the challenges in Squadletics. Cool. And also all mini app founders, feel free to reach out to me. It's Gigahertz. Let me just put this in here. If you have an app that is live and has users, feel free to first of all submit your app in the form, and then make sure to reach out to me so I can review it. Just very important, and I think as Linas mentioned, Linas already had his app live and had users. It's important that your app is scalable because you will get distribution, and you want to make sure you're able to manage a bit more users than we are used in Web3. So yeah, thank you so much, Linas. Have a lovely day. And we will chat soon. Can't wait to see you next 5 apps on MiniPay. And happy building, and talk soon.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.